I'm back! And if I look a little bit dirty or disheveled, it's because I have already been baking today. I'm not sure which video is gonna go up first, but I just made the 2-ingredient TikTok bagel, so if that's already up, I hope you saw it. If it's not, then it's gonna be up soon, so make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss any of my videos. Now today we're gonna be making these honey oat pumpkin muffins, which kind of sounds like a really cheesy pet name for someone, but it's not. It's a snack that we're making. It is Sunday right now, and I like to make this kind of thing in advance for the week because I work from home and I work for myself, and I have this really bad habit where I just get sucked into what I'm doing. This is gonna make me sound like a workaholic, and it's not that. It's just that I get so focused and I don't know, busy. If I don't have something already made in the fridge, a lot of days I end up not eating till dinner time, which is so bad. So I've been trying to be better about having something that's already made in the fridge that I could just either eat cold or heat up really quickly and then get back to work during the day. So last week we made blueberry muffins. Those were very, very tasty, by the way. I missed them. They're gone. I ate them all really fast. I might make them again, but there's already a video on that. So I'm not trying to plug my videos, guys. I didn't mean to do that. It came naturally. But those were really good muffins. So if you haven't seen that video and you like muffins and you like blueberries, you should watch that. But today it's all about the pumpkin, which I realize is out of season. It's literally May 1st. But I had this pumpkin puree. It was in my freezer. I opened it December 30th, if anyone cares. I had a post-it note. I love pumpkin. I don't really care what season it is. I like pumpkin. And we have more here. Actually, fun fact, I don't know who makes this pumpkin because it's the store brand, but if it were Libby, it's not pumpkin. It is a proprietary squash that they grow. They have the rights. By the way, the agricultural industry is very interesting if you don't know. These companies that make seeds like Monsanto, they create their own varieties of plants and then they license, when the farmers buy the seeds for those plants, they have to buy them from that company. It's a whole thing. But anyway, these companies make their own specific varieties of fruits and vegetables so that the farmers have to get the seeds from them. And what I'm getting at here is that Libby's makes their own kind of squash. They have cross-pollinated or I don't even know, cross something. They are mad scientists over there. They made their own kind of squash, but according to the FDA's definition of pumpkin, they're allowed to label it pumpkin. It's really not. It's something else. The closest thing that you and I could find to it would be a butternut squash. So that was just a fun little crazy fact of the day. This isn't Libby's, so who knows? Maybe this is real pumpkin. I don't know. But regardless, I wanted some pumpkin muffins and I wanted to use this up. You know, we're really big on not wasting here on this channel, so let's just get to the recipe, shall we? Alright, so the first thing they want us to do is to preheat our oven to 350. If you've watched me before, then you know that when I bake, I set my oven 10 degrees higher. I also don't always preheat my oven as the first step because I tend to be a little slow, especially when I'm explaining things for my videos. So I'm not going to do that yet. If you're baking alongside me, which by the way, don't do everything I do. I am not here to teach you. I make mistakes. But if you want to cook alongside me at your own risk, now's the time to preheat your oven. There. So, next step, mix all the wet ingredients in a bowl with a whisk or a hand mixer. I do have a hand mixer somewhere, but it's easier to use a whisk. So, and by the way, guys, this might be the very first video where I am fully 100% totally completely prepared. There are no ingredients missing from the table. I'm very proud of myself. You should see it, by the way. Let's just get a nice pan over the table. It's a little messy, but guys, I think I did it. I think I have every single thing out that I'm gonna need. Let's get started. So, mix all wet ingredients. Oh, this is a vegan recipe, by the way, and I'm not a vegan, so I am making some adjustments just so you know, and also I will have the recipe linked in the description like I always do. They say to use a flax egg. I have flaxseed, but that's expensive and stupid, so I'm just gonna use a real egg. It's supposed to be the same, so why not? They also say to use raw honey, and I totally didn't realize that when I first saw this recipe. I thought I saw it, I read it and was like, oh, honey, yeah, uncooked honey. No, it's raw honey, and I know what raw honey is, I just don't have it. So we're just gonna use our big ass thing of honey from Costco. If you guys wanna make this perfectly, then you're gonna need raw honey, but I'm sure it's gonna taste about the same. So let me crack my egg in a separate bowl, because I always get a shell. Hey guys, we did it! We didn't get a shell today. All right, next we want a 1/4 cup of our not raw honey. And I'm really happy that this recipe only calls for a 1/4 cup of honey because a lot of these recipes that claim to be healthy have like 1/3 of a cup, a 1/2 of a cup, or sometimes an entire cup of either honey or maple syrup. And that's a lot of sugar and that's also really expensive. So I try to keep it, I won't even try a recipe if it's got more than 1/3 of a cup. And I kind of like make a mental note of like how sweet the finished result is and whether or not I think I would like the taste if I reduce the amount of honey. I try not to use sugar unless I'm making a dessert like for a special occasion or for, you know, having people over or something like that. But if I'm just making something to have like during the week, it's not like a special event or a special occasion or anything, I don't need to add sugar. I don't think anybody needs more sugar in their diet. So not that I'm like gonna judge you if you have sugar, I don't care what you do, but for me, I don't want to have sugar unless I'm having dessert. All right, now we want 1.5 cups of our pumpkin puree, the exciting part. This container is 2 cups. It's a little bit liquefied from the freezer. It's fine. Just shaking it up. I think this is probably, because the container's not totally full, this is probably just over, it smells fine. It's probably just over 1.5 cups. I'm just gonna use it all, guys. No one has to know. I did get out the extra, here it is. I did get out the extra can because I thought I might need it, but I don't think I do now. So, oh, I also wanted to ask you guys, just out of curiosity, I bought this Target brand pumpkin puree. If you can see, it's Good and Gather, right? Now, if you look, it says 100% pure pumpkin. The only ingredient listed is pumpkin, right? It's not pumpkin pie filling. It's not pumpkin pie. When I opened this, because I had another can, it smelled so sweet. And I even opened another can. I think that's why I have this left over. I opened this, thought it smelled like sugar, so I opened another can of like the store brand pumpkin, smelled them side by side. The store brand smells like squash. The Target brand smells like sugar. What is up with that? Like, so I want to know though, if you bought this and you noticed the same thing, tell me in the comments. I'm really curious, but now I don't want to use it. This is also super dented, by the way. Side note, but I'm not using that because I don't understand what's in it and it smells way too sweet. It smells like sickeningly sweet. I guess I'll just throw it out. I don't know. Like, I don't think you can like donate dented cans to food drives, right? Like, who's gonna want that? So it sucks, but I got it on sale really cheap months ago. I don't even think they would take it back now, but just, I'm not buying that again. Okay, now they say to use 1/4 cup of soy milk. It's actually funny. They say soy milk or other non-dairy milk. I only have dairy milk in the house. I hope it serves the same purpose. Non-dairy milk is generally like mostly water, I know, but I'm not a food scientist, so I don't know exactly what purpose the non-dairy milk or milk serves. I'm gonna cross my fingers and use this stuff and hope it doesn't make these weird. I don't think it will. We did use milk in the last muffin recipe, I'm pretty sure, so I don't see how it could mess these up. But we want 1/4 cup. Is this dirty? Okay, I'm back. 1/4 cup of milk. Now we want 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. All right, so those are all of our wet ingredients. So I'm gonna lightly mix this up, I think. Yeah, we wanna mix these together. It's quite clumpy with all that pumpkin in there. I hope that's the consistency we want. I don't know, try to show you guys. Doesn't look quite homogeneous yet. Nope, that's not gonna be a good angle. I'm about to spill this everywhere. So I noticed in my last video, or in my blueberry muffin video, I don't think I ended up mixing everything as well as I probably could have because the recipe said like 3 times, do not overmix, and I was like, okay, I don't want to. So I think I accidentally undermixed because a couple of times when I was eating those muffins, there were like 3 times total between all 12 muffins where it was like, ooh, that bite tasted like Greek yogurt, or wow, that tasted like a lot of whole wheat flour. So I'm going to do a better job of mixing in this recipe. I have to say though, even though I messed up, those muffins were so good. Like I think about them sometimes. That sounds weird. I crave them. I think I'm gonna make them again. Ooh, we're splashing. Okay, this looks better to me now. Let me show you. Here is our pumpkin mix or our wet ingredient mix. It looks good. All right. So we're gonna set that aside, and now we're gonna do our dry ingredients. And I am using a sieve because I wanna make sure, I guess, that it's not like clumpy and weird. I don't know. After that last muffin experience, I felt like I should probably start sifting my flour. You guys don't have to if you don't want to. I'm not gonna make you, but I'm trying it today. So we want rolled oats. We want a cup. I don't remember if my cup is clean. I think, I gotta go get it. One sec. Just got a different measuring cup set. Well, we can't put this in the sifter now, can we? right into the bowl. All right, what else? 1 cup of whole wheat pastry flour. Oh, that was another thing. I don't know what that is, whole wheat pastry flour. This is just what I've got here. Ugh. This is just whole wheat flour. Now, because I had success making those blueberry muffins with this flour, I figured it would be okay for today's recipe. But if you don't have pastry flour or whole wheat pastry flour or whole wheat flour, to err on the side of caution, I would have just used all-purpose flour, and it crossed my mind, but I decided I used this in muffins. They came out fine. That recipe also used baking powder and baking soda, which is, I think, how it like rises. So as far as I know, it's not the flour that makes it rise, it's the baking powder and the baking soda. So anyway, again, don't follow my example if you want to make this recipe, or do. You'll see how it turns out. I'll be your guinea pig. Into the sieve. Okay, what else? Okay, next we want some cinnamon. I love that smell. This is definitely like, or most likely a fall recipe, but like I said, I don't care. Maybe this video will blow up in a few months. And we want some pumpkin pie spice next. You could definitely make this yourself, by the way, but we just happened to buy it because we're basic. I gotta wipe off my measuring spoon. I always end up using like a million paper towels every time I cook or bake, and I really try not to because I hate using paper towels and I hate that I'm basically buying them to throw them out. But here we are. I'm a messy person. I can't control myself. I try, but I make a mess, and then I have to clean it up. So first baking powder, baking soda. Now, we are almost done because this is a really quick recipe. We're gonna mix these dry ingredients together and then combine them with the wet, and then basically that's it. So I'm gonna go turn on my oven now. All right, let's do this sifter thingy. Big cloud of shit everywhere. So I'm gonna stir this because I think they want you to whisk this, right? Yeah, whisk all dry ingredients together. So again, I learned last time I did not stir enough, so I'm gonna take my time and make sure that this is stirred very well. Okay, now it says to slowly incorporate your dry ingredients into your wet ingredients. So I don't know how slowly. We're gonna do this, I don't know, maybe in like 5 increments, so I don't wanna mess it up. I just really love muffins, by the way, you guys, if you can't tell. I kind of want to try making some of those egg bite muffins, you know, when people like crack a bunch of eggs and put like peppers and onions and stuff into a muffin tin and then they bake it and have these little like handheld egg muffins. Like, I still don't know how I feel about that because that's not my favorite way to eat an egg. I've never had it, but I know it's not my favorite way to eat an egg. But I love just having like muffins ready in the fridge during the week, and I try to have protein throughout the day too. You know, these muffins are not gonna have protein, I know. That's why I want to keep them as low sugar as I can because I want them to be somewhat nutritious, or at least like, you know, not total garbage, which I think the pumpkin helps with that. I feel like I'm rambling now. But anyway, we're gonna do a lot more muffins on this channel. I think that was my point. This smells good, by the way. Now, I bet this would be really good if you used brown sugar. If you wanted to make it more like a cupcake or like a dessert, I would think probably brown sugar, molasses, or maybe even maple syrup. The thing is, maple syrup is not a neutral sweetener, so when you add it to stuff, you always taste that maple flavor, which I like, but I think sometimes it can overpower what you're making. If you saw I did a video, one of the first videos I did on this channel actually was the black bean brownie recipe, which, by the way, don't make that, it's bad. But that recipe called for maple syrup. That's what you use as a sweetener, and it just tasted mapley. It tasted like maple syrup and beans. Trust me, it was not worth it. And after that, I don't bake with maple syrup unless I'm going for a maple syrup flavor, which most of the time I'm not. All right. We'll stir this, and then we have one last addition. I think I'm getting a nice consistency here. And I think that adding the dry ingredients like in different small additions, I think it's made it easy to mix everything up really well. So I like that. So far, I think I'm happy with this recipe, but obviously we can't decide until we taste it. Last addition. Gotta get all that flour out of this bowl. So I'm just gonna get this all nicely combined, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Now, what I think is interesting about this recipe is that usually I feel like a recipe would call for some kind of like oil or butter or other sort of fat. And I have that book, Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, and it made it sound like every recipe uses some kind of fat. I don't know what the fat is in this recipe, or maybe there is no fat, because I'm looking at the list of ingredients again. None of them are fat. So I'm curious what the consistency and the overall like texture of these muffins is gonna be like when they're done, but there's only one way to find out. All right, I think this is mixed up well. It's pretty thick, so I can do this. And I'll give you guys a close-up too, in case that wasn't detailed enough. There we go. Here is the mixed up muffin batter, or dough. All right, so now we're just gonna fill up the muffin tin. I got this guy here. And I've made my crazy homemade parchment paper cupcake liners again. So I am gonna fill this up off camera. I'll show you what it looks like once all the cups are filled, because I think that's important. And then it's going to bake for 15 to 17 minutes. So I'll see you when I'm done with this. These are looking good. I am so excited. I can't wait to see what they taste like. I did rip off some of the excess parchment paper that was like sticking up because I was just worried it was gonna touch the flame and start a fire or something. So definitely not the most efficient way to make cupcake liners, but I didn't want the food touching the Teflon. Anyway, I am gonna throw these in the oven and I'll show you guys what they look like when they're done. All right, we are back. I'm just using the overhead light once again. This is gonna be my new style. So the color might be a little off, but these muffins look like they're baked. It says to let them cool for 5 to 10 minutes before you put them on a wire cooling rack. And it does not say to do a toothpick test. So we're not gonna do it because I've found that when recipes don't tell you to do that and you do it anyway, it looks like your shit is undercooked and then you drive yourself crazy. So we're not gonna do it. But this is what they look like now. They smell really good. I'm very excited and I can't wait to try them. So once they cool down, we're gonna do a taste test. Hello, everybody. This is an uncut muffin. There you go. I just cut one in half for Billy and I. Billy just ate an egg sandwich and I'm about to eat one. It's over there. So we're not like, it's not like we can't handle a full muffin, okay? I know this is the second time we're doing this, but just, we ate other food today. That seems a little wet. I'll take the wet half. This one seems less wet. These are really not that sweet. But I've noticed with baked goods that once they cool down, they tend to feel sweeter. They seem to taste sweeter. So I feel like once this is fully cooled and I'm eating it out of the fridge because it's the middle of the week and I don't want to cook something, I have a feeling they're going to be a lot sweeter and I'm going to really like them. But I do like it now. It's just the level of sweetness is like on par with bread. I like it though.
It's okay.
I think it's really good. I would give it...
Did you use less sugar than the recipe, or you just did the recipe?
I did what the recipe said. The recipe called for a 1/4 cup of honey, and that was it.
For your purposes of having it at, like, during the day, it's fine. It's not, like, when you think muffin, you think sweet. It's more like, I don't know, like cornbread or something, where it's not...
It doesn't taste like corn, though.
It doesn't taste like corn, but it's...
Cornbread is actually kind of sweet.
It is a little sweet. I don't know. This just isn't sweet at all, so it's okay, but...
I really like it. I've said this before, but it's true. There's a good chance I'm going to eat this with some peanut butter. And when you do that, the peanut butter kind of overpowers whatever you're eating. This is a healthy recipe. It's not supposed to be like dessert that you bring to Thanksgiving dinner, you know? I like it. I think a lot of people will think it's not sweet enough. I'm going to give it an A-.
For being healthy, I would say it's a B.
Ooh, wait, you're saying it's not healthy?
For being healthy, but for like tasting and enjoying it, it's more like a C.
Ouch. All right.
Well, you're not going to like crave this.
If you develop a palate that does not crave a lot of sugar, you will crave it.
I already have that. It's not sweet at all. It's like a pumpkin bread.
We like pumpkin bread, and pumpkin bread is sweet.
Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about, I guess. I've never heard of pumpkin bread. I just said that.
You're the one that brought it up.
I said it's like a pumpkin bread. Not pumpkin bread, like a pumpkin bread. It's not a muffin.
Okay. Interesting. You guys are gonna have to try it and see for yourselves if you're interested, because I think that it's mixed reviews. I don't eat a lot of sweet stuff, so I like it. Anyway, thank you for watching. Maybe give me a thumbs up. I would like for you to subscribe and maybe hit the bell to turn on notifications, because I do not upload regularly. I upload every week, but it's not always the same day of the week and it's not always the same time of day. So if you turn the bell on, we're good. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one.